Broadcasting live from an undisclosed location. This is the TCMMA podcast with your host, Chris Cross.
Whoa!
Dana White privilege.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby!
Dana White privilege. Privilege.
Dana White got roasted last night at Tom Brady's roast. He got roasted bad. I mean, it was hilarious getting compared to Michael Vick. That's something else. The whole fighter pay thing, you know, he's an easy punching bag for that, right? Dana White's an easy punching bag for the fighter pay. He always will be. But I say rock on, Dana White. Do your thing. Keep the expenses down as best you can to keep the business thriving. So listen, Khamzat Chimaev's all in the news. We're going to get to all these. Sean Strickland saying he almost had a huge fight with Khamzat. A huge title rematch was also in the mix. See, I don't know if I even believe all that. Saying he nearly fought Khamzat in Saudi Arabia, but instead booked Paulo Costa. Please. You don't want to fight Khamzat. You just don't want to do it. Leon Edwards saying, you know, and I'm paraphrasing, yeah, Khamzat is good, but he's not what they made him out to be. So, you know, all of a sudden, Khamzat is a punching bag. All of a sudden, he's a punching bag. Andrew Schultz, again, the one who roasted Dana White last night over fighter pay. We're going to get into that. They compared Gronkowski, Edelman, and Welker to a law firm, which it does kind of sound like one. I got to be honest. Tom Aspinall still up in arms. John Jones playing games with Alex Pereira interest. Yeah, John Jones has always played games. This is what drives you crazy when he's the champ. Is the title's never up for grabs. Like once a year, he finds a way to fight once a year. He can hold on to the belt and he can pick and choose who he wants to fight. And maybe like a guy like Tom Aspinall, who would be a tough matchup for John Jones, maybe he fades away while making a weight. Maybe he fights Curtis Blades and gets dropped, or, you know, something like that, to where Tom Aspinall fades away. And then if he does beat Curtis Blades, well, who's Curtis Blades anyway? That type of thing. So, of course, John Jones is playing games. He always has. He always will. In the latest UFC Rankings update, Jose Aldo and Miguel Pereira, of course, back on the charts after big wins at UFC 301. They should be. Absolutely. Especially Aldo in the bantamweight. I like it, man. UFC legend details how Islam Makhachev is now better than Khabib in certain major fight skills, right? Who's that UFC legend? It should be obvious. We'll get to that in a moment. Sean O'Malley makes dramatic UFC 303 U-turn in response to attack from idol Conor McGregor.
I love the Sugar Show.
Yeah, of course we love the Sugar Show.
Khamzat Chimaev!
And we love Khamzat Chimaev. And we love McGregor. And we like Ian Gary and Colby Covington. And it's all these guys go up against each other. It becomes confusing for us and muddled. But we still got to get into some of these topics. Then you got Bellator champion Patchy Mix, whom I never heard of, says he would take out Sean O'Malley in a fight. I'm one round removed from being 31 in a row. So, you know, well, interesting. But you just never know with these fighters until they come over to the UFC. I mean, I was in doubt over Kayla Harrison, and look what she did. She came in and beat Holly Holm in quick fashion. I mean, it's crazy. So back to the top. Leon Edwards saying Khamzat Chimaev's a good fighter, but not what the UFC was building him to be. And how do you know that? You know, even when I'm saying Khamzat's going to beat everyone, how do I don't really know that. That's what I believe is going to happen. So that's an opinion of Edwards, just like I have my opinion that Khamzat's going to beat everybody, okay? But I don't know that to be a fact until it actually plays out. How could Leon Edwards be certain of what he's saying? He went down and fought Gilbert Burns in a weight class that's way too light for him. He didn't look great, but he still won. He went in there with Usman, who did move up. Usman didn't look great, but he didn't have to cut weight. So he was feeling good and strong and fought well. And Khamzat hurt his hand pretty darn bad in the first round after absolutely dominating Usman on the ground. Absolutely dominate him on the ground. So, and then all of a sudden the fight changes in the second and third round. So you're like, obviously something happened, right? You want to be led to believe that while you're watching it live that, oh, Khamzat doesn't look that good. Well, something clearly changed. How do you go from dominating a guy in round one on the ground, completely taking one of the best takedown defense specialists in the world out of the fight as a striker and take him down because you're dominating him? And then something changed to where you can't land takedowns in the second and third round now, and you're forced into a striking battle with a guy in Usman that you don't necessarily want to do that with, because it's going to be a lot easier to beat him on the ground if you can just manhandle him. And then he couldn't do that in the second and third round, not because he just couldn't do it skillfully, but because there was underlying factors. So this is what I repeat. How does Leon Edwards know what he's talking about? It's crazy. And Sean Strickland saying, hey, I could have fought Khamzat, but instead I picked Costa. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. That's just crazy.
Oh, my God, bro.
What are you talking about? Paulo Costa? Who is Paulo Costa? When was the last time he fought? Is he even relevant right now until he gets a big win over somebody? Will he ever be relevant again? We don't know. You're meaning to tell me you'd rather fight Paulo Costa over Khamzat? The chance to end the hype train and do everything that you guys are talking like you're going to do? I mean, come on, man. Please. Please. Don't come at Khamzat like that until he loses. Please don't come at him until he loses. Please don't come at him until he loses. He hasn't lost yet. And I know that makes some of y'all's stomach turn. It makes your stomach turn. Because you want to say, yeah, Burns beat him and he looked terrible against Usman. Usman should have won that fight on the judges. Okay. But Khamzat won the fight. And that just makes some of y'all's stomach churn. Just turn over, man. It just makes you sick to your stomach. And the bottom line is Khamzat is going to get another fight against a Robert Whittaker. And this time, it doesn't matter how he wins. But it matters that he wins. Because I don't care what the circumstances are. If he beats Robert Whittaker, I don't care if you say Robert Whittaker didn't look good tonight, Khamzat got lucky, Whittaker got robbed on the judges' scorecards. I don't care what none of y'all say. And it's a 5-round fight? Come on, man. All the excuses are gone now. He's fighting one of the best. Okay? Although y'all will break him down if he does beat him and say, oh, Robert Whittaker's washed up. And that's about the only thing you'll be able to say. But he's fighting one of the best. And he's fighting 5 rounds because some of you guys say if these fights go 4 or 5 rounds, Khamzat's done. Okay. Well, we're going to find out now. So just sit tight and we're going to find out. Comedian Andrew Schultz roasted President Dana White last night. I mean, just roasted him. Just roasted him. Saying Gronkowski, Edelman, and Welker, that's not a receiving corps, that's a law firm. With that divorce coming up, you're going to need them. Oh, that's why Dana White is here. So you can learn how to screw over a Brazilian out of half their purse. It's just hilarious. To bring in the other 3 about the law firm, because it does. Like Gronkowski, Edelman, and Welker sounds like a law firm. And then you throw Dana White in there and throw him under the bus, helping to screw someone out of their money, And it's all fun and games. It's just funny. Jeff Ross says, "What's up, Dana? Look at this. Talk about a legend in the room. Pull back. I want to show you brought the whole cast of." I'm not even gonna say that because who do you have next to him? He had Max Holloway and Sean O'Malley, I believe. Dana, who are these guys? Are these guys? Are they neutered? What the F is going on here? The sign said, "No pets." Dana, I love you, Dana. You're like Michael Vick, but with human beings. Oh my gosh. And these roasts sometimes are just awesome because they go at it, man. They hold no punches. And this thing went down on Netflix last night. I've seen a couple outtakes, but I'm going to watch the whole thing literally as soon as this podcast is over. So I don't want to act like I've seen it, but I've seen pretty much all of it through the clips. So, but I want to watch the whole thing in full and go through the experience for sure. Tom Aspinall. John Jones playing games with Alex Pineda interest. And we talked about this on the last show. Great move by John Jones. I don't like everything he does all the time. I don't like that he hardly ever fights, but he still is one of my favorite fighters. And I'm still going to rock with him. And he needs to fight Alex Pineda like yesterday. Or when they announce the fight, he just needs to give Alex Pineda like 2 months because John Jones knows that it takes 2 years, 3 years to move up to heavyweight. That's why he didn't fight for so long. And then everyone's wondering, like, how's he going to look? How's he going to look? He's getting older. Oh, he looked great. And he looked like a heavyweight. But it's a little harder to do it overnight. So Pineda will be a little quicker, but John Jones has the skill and the size to get the job done. You know, Aspinall saying in so many words at TNT Sports, if we can get old mate John to ever sign a contract with my name on the other side of the contract, I'll talk about him for hours on this show. So he doesn't want to even talk about John Jones, but he has to because he's the champ. And that's John Jones knows this. Okay, sit there on the podcast and say you don't want to talk about me, but I'm the champ. I got what you want, and you're going to have no choice but to talk about me. And you might never get to fight me. It's terrible. And then DC Daniel Cormier loves that John Jones made a smart call for Alex Pineda. It's much less risky than Tom Aspinall. And you're like, what? Alex Pineda is less risky? This guy's going for 3 belts. He's the man, this, that, and the other. Like, but it is less risky. Again, because Tom Aspinall is a true heavyweight. Pineda is not. It's not to say that Pineda can't go in there and shock the world and win. But I'd rather fight him than a true heavyweight. I'd rather fight a guy that's not quite a heavyweight yet, that is just trying to move up, than fight a guy that's actually big. That if he does get on top of me, he can lay on me. And he's going to pack a powerful punch, and I'm going to have to get in there and strike with him. He's going to bring the fight to me. I'm not going to be able to sit back with the leg kicks and dance around a little bit. Like, it's going to be for real. And with all that being said, John Jones is probably one of the baddest dudes on the planet, obviously, and might beat all of them with no problem. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But we're trying to look at the toughest situations. In the latest UFC rankings, Jose Aldo and Mikel Pereira, who had big wins at UFC 301, are back in the rankings, and this shouldn't be a surprise. Jose Aldo looked great in the bantamweight division. I remember watching that fight the other night, and I picked Martinez. And, of course, after the fight, everyone's like, see, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, that's why we put out the poll. And 60% of you fools said Jonathan Martinez was going to win, too. So don't act like I'm the only one. That's why we put the polls out. I know what I'm getting into, so I'm not even going to respond to that silly stuff. All of a sudden, all you guys know, right? I'm 9-1 on the night, and I lose 2 in a row at the top of the card, and everyone's like, oh, so you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, dude, I'm 9-1 at that point. Like, leave it alone. Okay? Leave it alone. I'm dominating in the picks. And Mikel Pereira obviously deserves to be up there, too, with a big finish over Ihor Potieria. I don't know. But he beat Ihor at UFC 301. UFC legend details how Islam might be better than Khabib. And who is the UFC legend? None other than Dustin Poirier, the Diamond. Dustin Poirier feels that Islam Makhachev, jiu-jitsu and striking, are better than Khabib's. And who's to say? Who's to say? I mean, he's been taught by Khabib. He trained with Khabib. If anyone's going to be better than Khabib, it will be Islam. But he still has some more ways to go. He's got to get in a fight with Arman Sarukian. He's got to beat Dustin Poirier here, which just buys him another 6 months. But DP is a dangerous dude. He can win this fight. He shouldn't, but he shouldn't have won the last one. So, it is what it is. Islam saying, I said this over and over again. I believe this on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani. I still have a lot of tread left on the tires. I can beat these guys, these young guys. I just did it against Benoit Saint Denis. It's just like, how much do I want to give to this sport? Because you don't ride for free. And I read that earlier today. I was just thinking about the meaning of that. It's so true, man, because the longer you fight, the worse shape you could be in later in life. Like, you don't ride for free. You got to pay for this stuff. And when you're paying, when the bills come due for being a professional fighter, not as many people are around as they are when you're actually doing it, because there's going to be new fighters that are fighting and everyone's going to be caring about them. So, that's what's going on. But Sean O'Malley, before we get out of here, is really pissed with Conor McGregor. This is a guy that he not worships, but likes. He looks up to. Probably one of the reasons that he wanted to be a fighter, or if he was already training to be a fighter at that point, you look and you're like, I want to be like him one day. I want to be at the top. Now, and he's always backed him, right? Now McGregor throws him under the bus and compares him to Ryan Garcia, who's going through a suspension now from, I believe, boxing. And I'm not big in understanding the story, but the same thing that Ryan Garcia did to get him suspended is the same thing, allegedly, because I don't know the whole story, that Sean O'Malley did. And I just don't know the name of what they're talking about. I should, but I didn't go into all that today. Osterin, is that what it's called? Maybe I'm wrong there. But the bottom line, the gist of the story is that Sean O'Malley's minding his own business. Ryan Garcia gets suspended in boxing. And now all of a sudden, Sean O'Malley's thrown into this in a tweet from McGregor or video or whatever McGregor did. That's the whole gist of it. So O'Malley feels like, he was punched in the gut here and didn't deserve it. Yeah, he might have done something years back. Who knows? But it's like, how am I getting thrown into this story like 4 years later? Because, you know what I mean? Especially by a guy that I look up to. I think he's great. I want to win a championship like him. And I'm there now. And now he's just like basically F McGregor, man. So he just totally pissed off O'Malley. And McGregor don't care. But it's still crazy. McGregor offering to bring Ryan Garcia and Sean O'Malley out to spar. Is he going to do all that? No. But, these are the things that are being discussed. And McGregor is the type that will just throw you under the bus in a heartbeat, And it is what it is, as long as you know. I mean, you can't be blindsided. Another one who really likes him, too, is Ian Gary. Ian Gary is a guy that really looks up to McGregor and likes McGregor. So, at the end of the day, these guys got to beware. Like, he could throw your behind under the bus at any point in time. Please believe it. He could throw you under the bus at any time. You just got to be ready for it. But listen, those are the topics that are going on today. We want to get on here quick and spit that to you and bring you the news. But, also, right now, like 60% of the people are saying Derek Lewis is going to win the fight over Rodrigo Nascimento this Saturday night. I wanted to pop that in there, too, as we did the poll today. 60-40 for Derek Lewis. And I think all those people are saying, hey, like, you're going to need the KO, and we believe you're going to get the KO. It's not 70 or 80, it's 60, but it's good enough to make a statement there, at least on our channel. But listen, that's going to wrap it up. This is your boy, Chris Cross. I hope you have a great day. And as always, God bless. Peace.